Dang, I've got some long books on my Goodreads TBR. Whew! Hey Book Dragons, welcome back to my channel. About a week ago, I saw a video on Jordan's channel, The Boiled Jellyfish, and I'll link his channel below. He did a video talking about the top 10 longest books on his Goodreads TBR. And I thought, you know what, that's kind of a cool idea for a video. I hadn't really thought about doing that before. And so I told him I was going to steal his idea. And so that's what we're doing today. Please make sure to like the video if you enjoy it. Make sure to subscribe to my channel for more content. And join my Discord as well so that we can talk all about the fun books that I talk about on my channel and other books that you might recommend as well. Okay? So let's get to the list. And we are going to start with A Memory of Light by Robert Jordan and Brandon Sanderson, actually. Robert Jordan and Brandon Sanderson. Brandon completed the Wheel of Time series. This was one of his books that he wrote in the series. Book number 14, I believe. And that clocks in at 912 pages. And boy, that's a whopper. Now, guys, I'm not even sure if I'm going to continue reading the Wheel of Time series. I've shelved it for now, indefinitely, and who knows if I'll ever pick it up again. There's just so many other books I would rather be reading, and I know the Wheel of Time series is really popular. I know a lot of people love it, but right now I'm just not feeling a vibe for it, so we'll see if I get to it. But that book, if I continue the series, yeah, it's on my Goodreads TBR, so we shall see. Coming in at number 9 is The White Wolf by Michael Moorcock. That is book 3 in the collector's editions of the Elric Saga, and this comes in at 944 pages. Oh my goodness, guys. I will eventually read it. I will probably piecemeal these books because they're all kind of chunkers. I still haven't started the series yet. So eventually I will, and then I'll get to this one. But I think this is the biggest of all of the Elric Collector's Editions. So yeah, it's a lot of pages, guys. So we'll see. We'll see once I get to it how I fare with it. I'm going to set this down here. All right, so coming in at number 8, we have The Blackest Heart by Brian Lee Durfee. This is the second book in his 5 Warrior Angels series, and this book clocks in at 960 pages. Mr. Durfee, that is a long book, but I really, really want to get to this series. I need to read the first book, The Forgetting Moon. And I have a lot of respect for Brian Durfee. He is just a really swell guy, great YouTuber as well, and I'm looking forward to getting to his series. Number 7 is Dragon Mage by M.L. Spencer. And this clocks in at 986 pages. I've heard nothing but good things about this book. Well, no, I've heard a few negative things, but mostly it's been very positively received, and a lot of people love the story. So I'm looking forward to eventually reading it. I love dragons. I hear there's just a lot to love about this book. So eventually I'm going to get to it. It is on my Goodreads TBR, and I think I already have it on my Kindle. I'll have to check, and if I do, I'll let you know. I'll put a little note right up here on the screen, okay? Coming in at number 6 is Nosferatu by Joe Hill. Joe Hill is, of course, Stephen King's son, and I don't know a whole lot about the book. I know it involves a vampire, obviously. Nosferatu, it's a vampire, but I haven't looked at it anymore, and I kind of want to go into this one blind, because I already know I love vampires, so I don't need to know a whole lot about the story to know I want to pick up the book. And I've heard great things about Joe Hill. And so this book clocks in at 995 pages. Wow. That's a big one. That's a chunky boy right there. So, Mr. Joe Hill, I'm looking forward to seeing what you got in that book. Number 5 is Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell by Susanna Clark. And this book comes in at 1,006 pages. This is a book that I have been putting off because I want to read it, and yet I don't. I've just been, I can't bring myself to pick it up yet. I still don't know a whole lot about it. There was a miniseries made of it a few years back, and I think it's on Netflix. I thought about watching it, but then I'm like, I better read the book first. And it's just such a stark contrast because there's this big chunky book that she wrote, and then her second book was Piranesi, and that's like, I think, 200 or 300 pages. So it's like, that's a wild difference. I'm probably going to read Piranesi first, but yeah, this that's a big one. Coming in at number 4 is House of Chains. That's book 4 of the Malazan Book of the Fallen by Stephen Erickson. And this is a series that I have shelved temporarily, just like with Wheel of Time, but Malazan is more likely for me to get back to, honestly. I liked most of what I read. I just got really worn out by the mental effort that I had to put into reading these books. And so I will eventually get back to it. I temporarily DNF'd Memories of Ice, and I need to get back to that one, and then I'll move on to House of Chains. So it will probably happen, but it's going to be a while. And that book, House of Chains, clocks in at 1,015 pages. Oh boy. Yep. I've noticed a pattern with myself that as I get older, I start to have less and less patience for long books. Maybe I'm burned out on long books, and I'll get to a place where I want to read more long books, and I'm hoping that's the case. Coming in at number 3 is Infinite Jest by David Foster Wallace. And that book comes in at 1,098 pages. And this one I'm kind of on the fence with. I honestly don't know if I will read it. I've got it listed as want to read on Goodreads. I just don't know. I don't know that much about it. I've heard a lot of good things about it. I know several people who I respect and admire their opinions that really love this book. I don't know. We'll see. I may or may not pick it up. And if I do, it's going to be a while because I've got books that are more important to me to read first. So one of these days, maybe. Number 2 would be The Great Book of Amber by Roger Zelazny. Now, of course, this is a collection of all the books of Amber. I think there's like 10 books of Amber or something like that. Anyway, The Great Book of Amber is the 1-volume collector's edition of all of them. And so I've got that on my list. It will probably be one of those things where, like with Earthsea, I had the 1-volume collector's edition, but I'm reading them individually. So it's going to take me a while to get through that one once I get to it. That one comes in at, are you ready for this? 1,258 pages. Woo boy! That's a mighty tome. I don't know. I just don't know. But one of these days, I hear really good things about Roger Zelazny, and I do want to try out at least the first 1 or 2 books and see how it sits with me. So we'll see how that goes. And then the final book on this list, coming in at number 10, that is The Count of Monte Cristo by Alexandre Dumas. And that clocks in at 1,276 pages. It is just shy of 1,300 pages, guys. And I want to read this book. Will I do it? I don't know. I may have to audiobook this one. I'm not sure if that's going to happen or not. So, that is my list of the 10 longest books on my Goodreads TBR. Tell me some of yours. I would love to hear how ambitious you are when it comes to picking books to read. Are you as crazy as I am with having really fat books on your list? I would love to find that out. Hit me up on my Discord. You can hit me up down in the comments. I would love to dialogue with you and find out more about yours. If you would like to do this experiment, feel free. I think it would be cool to see your videos, or you can put your list in the comments below. Whatever you like to do, that would be awesome. And that's all I've got for you today, guys. Make sure that you are reading more books, and I will talk with you soon.